First at 6, we're digging deeper into a trial that recently wrapped up in Horry County. Jarrell Hickson and Tawan Jackson were found guilty of voluntary manslaughter in the deadly 2022 shooting of Quay Dickens. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Trish Williford.
And I'm Edward Moody. Yesterday, News 13 spoke to 15th Circuit Solicitor's Office, who thought the men should have been convicted of murder.
Today, we spoke to the defense attorneys. Jim Hoffmeyer was the attorney for Jackson and David Rigney for Hickson.
News 13's Gracie Fusco is live in the newsroom. And Gracie, what did they have to say about the verdict and what the solicitor's office had to say?
Trish, Edward, after speaking to both attorneys today, what is interesting is that when it comes to the topic of a murder charge, Hoffmeyer and Rigney disagree. Jarrell Hickson and Tawan Jackson were sentenced to 30 years in prison. While the state brought a murder charge against the two men, the jury ultimately decided on voluntary manslaughter. Hoffmeyer told me he and Rigney believed there was evidence where the jury could find both men or one or the other guilty of voluntary manslaughter. Because of that, Hoffmeyer and Rigney wanted the jury to have that option.
My understanding is that the jury did not find sufficient evidence of murder, and the judge read to the jury what the elements of murder are and what they would be required to find in order to convict these young men of murder.
Rigney believes the prosecution did not provide enough evidence for a murder charge, while Hoffmeyer believes they did. Solicitor Jimmy Richardson told News 13 Monday, because Dickens wasn't the intended target, the jury made what's called a compromise verdict.
I think what the solicitor's office is alluding to is the fact that the jury may have been somewhat conflicted to find one of them guilty and not the other, or may have been conflicted about the hand of one as the hand of all.
Hoffmeyer said when the verdict was read, Jackson hoped the jury would reach a different decision.
I believe that genuinely Mr. Jackson and his family have a great deal of sympathy and compassion for the tragedy that happened. I think it's only human for someone when they're looking at a substantial term of imprisonment to wish things were differently.
Rigney says Hickson and his family were disappointed in the verdict, and so was he.
We believe that there was a basis for the jury to find him not guilty of any charges.
I asked both Hoffmeyer and Rigney whether or not the two men would file an appeal, and they both said yes. Live in the newsroom, Gracie Fusco, News 13.